Blessings to everybody, man. Just rewatched the Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury fight, and the only question I have is, what on earth were the judges watching at, man? I don't understand. I'm looking at the scorecards here, okay? I'm gonna show you guys the scorecards, all right? Show you guys the scorecards. Hold on a second. Screen share this. I know a lot of people talked about this, but I want to go through it myself as well. All right? Oops. All right, so this is the scorecards. They had Alejandro Rochin, who I believe was from the United States of America. We had Robert Tapper, who I believe was from England. And then we have Phil Edwards, who is from Canada. All three judges had the first round for Deontay Wilder. Now, Deontay Wilder was landing some jabs to the pit in the first round. And in fact, throughout the fight, he tried to work the body by using a jab to the pit, to his credit. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. He did not win the first round. There are a number of things you have to look at besides clean, effective punching. You have to look at ring generalship. Who's the guy dictating the first round? This was not a round that Deontay Wilder was dictating, clearly. Punch stat shows us that for the first round. Deontay Wilder was not throwing or landing the same amount of punches that he normally throws and lands. So Tyson Fury was dictating the first round. Deontay Wilder kept on loading up to try and land punches, and he was missing. And Tyson Fury kept on landing the jab in the first round. Um, and he was able to follow up with the right, the straight. I think it was right hooks. I think he landed on Wilder in that first round. So there's no way, unless you're anticipating Wilder knocking out Fury, and you have an inherent bias inside of your head that Wilder's going to get Fury, that you would give the first round to Wilder. All three judges did that. I don't know what they were looking at. The defense of Fury was better than Wilder. The ring generalship was better. The clean, effective punching was better. And three criteria: clean, effective punching, ring generalship, defense. What am I missing out? Something else I'm missing out. The four criteria. If you guys know what the other criteria is, please tell me. I only have three. There's four. I can't remember what it was. So those judges befuddled me because round two was just a little bit more of round one. And the only judge that was consistent with that was Alejandro Rochin, which is the American judge. He actually had the first four rounds for Wilder. He was consistent in what he was doing. I don't know what he was looking at. But for some reason, he thought Wilder was winning the fight through the first four rounds. All right? And clearly, the first six rounds were all Tyson Fury in my scorecard. I was shocked. The seventh round is crazy. Wilder landed a lot of body shots in the seventh round, especially the jab to the pit. He wasn't really succeeding at anything else, which Tyson Fury was basically catching and blocking and parrying, whatever. But at the end of the day, Tyson Fury landed the more outstanding shots. Those 1-2s to Wilder's head, those left hooks. Okay, he check hooked Wilder when Wilder was trying to come in and stuff like that. So, I mean, if you got to give Wilder a round in this entire fight, it would be the seventh round. In addition to the two knockdown rounds, round 9 and round 12, where he had his knockdowns, right? Round 9 actually was not a knockdown. Tyson Fury had gotten hit at the back of the head. It wasn't by the ear, it was at the back of the head, which is not allowed. That's illegal. So actually, where Tyson Fury got knocked down, where he actually went down, was because he got hit in the back of the head. But the Ninja is tough. Tyson Fury is a tough guy. For sure. Um, the other thing I wanted to talk about was in round 12 when Wilder did catch Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury rode the punches. He rode first the first punch, and then when Wilder came back with the second punch, he was actually moving in the opposite direction. And so because he rode those two punches, I think he took some of the steam off of Wilder's punches, which is why I think he survived the punch. I think it was more when he hit his head on the canvas. That was more troubling than the actual 1-2s. I'm pretty sure if I feel those punches, I would die. But what I'm saying is it took some of the steam off of Wilder's punches. Wilder caught him with a 1-2 because Tyson Fury was moving backwards. He was trying to engage Wilder, and he's actually trying to bob and weave. Wilder caught him early in the bobbing and weaving. And yeah, that reminded me of Costa Zoo versus Zab Judah. It was the same thing. The difference is Tyson Fury, he didn't just pop back up. He waited, he looked up at the sky a little bit, and then he got up. Took his time and got up, which was smart. People say that Jack Reese took too long to do the count. No, he started counting immediately as Tyson Fury hit the canvas. And then what he did, which I thought was very smart, when Tyson Fury came up and beat the count, he told him to move around so he could see that he was okay. Tyson Fury took a jog around to show him he was okay, and Jack Reese let the action continue. So people said it gave Tyson Fury too much time. I don't think so. I think that I think people were thirsty to see if Wilder could knock him out. And then Tyson Fury caught Wilder with the same set of punches, a right hand followed by a left hook. And Wilder backed off. He was like, you know what? Like Paulie Malignaggi said, I think I'll just take my 10-8 round and call that a day. So Fury was ready to, he was like, okay, you get your piece, I'm going to get mine now. Right? And you see Wilder's face at the end of the fight. You saw how his face was busted up and stuff. Well, swollen up and stuff. Fury hits hard. And Wilder will tell you that. But anyway, talking about the scoring here, the only round other than rounds 12 and 9 I could actually give to Wilder after rewatching the fight was round 7. And round 7 is really a Tyson Fury round because he actually hit Wilder with the more flashier punches and with the bigger shots. I mean, he caught him with those 1-2s. So round 7 is not really a Wilder round, but I could just bend the rules and say, Wilder was doing that body work there, the jab to the pit stuff, he was trying to work the body. So, and he was the guy who was actually throwing most of the punches in that round. Tyson Fury was with the more eye-catching, powerful shots, but Wilder was doing some good body work. So you could probably give him that because of that. But at the end of the day, I mean, I thought it was 8-4 because I'd actually given round 7 and round 8 to Deontay Wilder. Now looking back at it, round 7 and round 8 were not Wilder rounds at all. They were both Tyson Fury rounds. So in the end, like I said, the minimal judging of rounds you should give Tyson Fury is 8 rounds. The maximal you should give him is 10. Because you could easily say Wilder didn't win a single round except for the 2 rounds where he dropped him, which is what Paulie Malignaggi was saying. And when you think 8-4 to 10 to 10 to 10-2, okay, so with the 2 knockdowns, Tyson Fury loses 2 extra points. So if you look at, for instance, 8-4 would be 116 and 112. But because Tyson Fury was knocked down, there are 2 10-8 rounds, you have to take away 2 points from that. That's 114, 112. But if you look at it this way, that was a shutout, 10-2. Then 10-2 is, I believe, 118, 110. 118, 110. Okay? That's 10-2. That's a 10-2 round. And that means you take off 2 points. That's 116, 110. Tyson Fury won this fight either 114, 112 to 116, 110. There's no such thing as a draw. This was a robbery. That's why we call it a robbery. When you can't box the socks off of a guy, and 2 knockdowns is sufficient to get a draw. What Wilder needed was either a knockout, which he was going for, but he didn't get, or he'd need 4 knockdowns if Tyson Fury won 8 rounds. He'd need 6 knockdowns if Tyson Fury won 10 rounds. And I'm telling you now, when I look at it, you could say 9-3, which would be 117, 111, which would be, when you take away the 2 knockdowns, 115, 111. No matter how you look at it, Tyson Fury sweeps Wilder, no matter how you look at it, you know. And this was a sweep, you know. He outboxed Wilder. He boxed the socks off of Wilder. Now, some people are saying, you know, to 2 knockdowns, Wilder did enough because he got 2 knockdowns. That's for the uninitiated and for the people who don't know boxing. I heard my boy, Boxing Ego, saying people don't know boxing. Wilder won this fight. Boxing Ego, this is what I got to tell you, bro. All right? This is what I got to tell you. Break it down round by round. Break down how Wilder won the majority of rounds, or how Wilder even won 5 rounds. Show me that, and you would convince me that Wilder won this fight. But there's no way in God's green earth you're going to show me that. Why? Because there are 2 things you got to ask. Who was fighting whose fight? Wilder generally puts up 40 punches per round. Okay? His accuracy is at 40%. When we look at the figures and the punch stats, Wilder didn't put up 40. He put up, actually the punch stats. I should have brought up the punch stats from the fight, but it's all right. Wilder put up subpar punch stats. I mean, 17% accuracy. That's 23% less than his 40% accuracy. And he put up less punches than Fury. He landed less punches than Fury. Okay? Actually, he threw more punches than Fury, but he landed less punches than Fury. There's no way that you come into a fight, you have lower punch stats than you normally have, and you're fighting your fight. He wasn't fighting his fight. That's the first thing. Fury made him fight Fury's fight. Fury dictated this fight from beginning to end. This was a Fury fight. Even in the knockdown rounds, when Fury was knocked down in round 9 and then back in round 11, Fury came back and dictated how the fight would be fought. Okay? So at the end of the day, even the rounds Fury lost, he was dictating. And if you can't see that, I don't know how you can say a man is winning a fight if he ain't dictating nothing. If you're not dictating a fight, how you winning a fight? Unless you stop the guy. And it looked like Wilder was going to stop Fury late in the 12th round. It looked that way when he went down. But then Fury got up. And he got up quick. You think about it. He stayed down for a minute. He was looking up at the ceiling. People say his eyes rolled in his head. I didn't see that. He looked up at the ceiling. I saw that. And then I saw him get up. He kept his composure, got up in time, and he proceeded to take precautions to protect himself first. You protect and you clinch, let the cover-ups from your head, and then you fight. And that's exactly what he did. And he won the rest of the round. How do you end up doing that? You get knocked down with a right hand left hook. That's the combination that lights out people. People don't come back from that. You get a right hand left hook from that. You get up from that man's right hand and left hook. And I'm not going to say that Wilder don't hit hard, but I just feel that Wilder, in trying to throw his right hand and left hook, tried too hard to throw the right hand. And Fury saw it, ducked out of the way of most of it, took the steam off of it. And when he came with the left hook, Fury was already moving with the punch. I think that took the steam off of Wilder's shot. Wilder needed to know how to pull those shots, set up those shots, so he could catch with, because nobody gets hit flush with those punches and stands up to them. But Fury, I think, rode them. He's slippery, like Wilder said, and caused Wilder to hyperextend. What Wilder don't realize, which is what a lot of you guys don't understand, is Wilder tried to shoot the straight right, and Wilder's not used to missing the straight right. So he ended up hyperextending his arm. Fury make you miss. That's what took some of the energy out of Wilder as well. When you're missing, it's worse than if you hit a shot that's blocked, because when you hit the shot that's blocked, your energy kind of is replenished. When you totally miss a shot, it takes a lot of energy out of you. A lot of energy out of you. And Wilder was totally missing certain shots. Wilder had a lot of inexperience. He learned a lot through this fight. You hear him say that, man, this guy was super slippery. It's because Fury, there was no grease on Fury. Fury has been doing this thing for a long time. And the other thing Fury did to Wilder, which a lot of people need to understand, which is why Wilder became hesitant to come in on Fury. He knew he couldn't just go in, and he became kind of Klitschko-like. And that's why his punch stats dropped so much. It's because Fury doesn't only make you miss, he makes you pay. And that was the difference in this fight. Fury made Deontay Wilder, just like Vladimir Klitschko, miss, and then he made him pay. Now, kudos to Wilder on getting the 2 knockdowns. Actually, 1 knockdown. I give him credit for the 12th round knockdown, which is on Fury's fault, because he decided to Fury didn't gauge the distance. What he was supposed to do was throw out the jab first on Wilder to make sure he had range. He didn't realize Wilder was that close. So when he started to dip down, Wilder already caught him. He misjudged because Fury was on the offensive. And then he pulled back into defense, not realizing he wasn't in range. So that's why Wilder actually caught him with those two shots. And because he rolled them, because he rolled the two shots, he didn't suffer the consequences of full blown out, getting caught with them. Fury though is good at slipping and sliding, dipping, as you can see, splitting the jab and all of that stuff that he does. For a big man, that's just ridiculous. You really wonder if he's on cocaine, but he's not on cocaine. So the judge here, Robert Tapper, who's saying close rounds. I don't understand what he's talking about. But here you can see it's 114, 112. He has it because of the two knockdowns, which is the right score. But the problem with it is that yes, round 8 and round 9 and round 12 are knockdown rounds. But as you can see here, he also had him winning round 7, which is the round I was talking to you guys about, that you kind of give, okay, in terms of work rate and activity, Wilder wins that round. In terms of sharp, effective punches that really counted in that round, Tyson Fury wins that round. But Wilder was much more active. I don't agree with round 1. I would have given round 8 to Wilder. If I got to give him 4 rounds, that would be it. This judge here, which is Phil Edwards, which was from Canada, he had it. Wilder won the 9th and the 11th, and then he had him winning the 7th, the 6th. The 6th round was definitely not Wilder. That was Fury's round, as the first round. So again, I don't understand how these judges reason that out. I can understand this judge saying round 9 was a Wilder round. I can understand it based on activity, but I cannot understand him giving round 1 to Wilder. I cannot understand how you can give round 6 to Wilder, maybe round 8, but not round 6. So I don't understand that. Those are all Fury rounds, in my opinion. Anywho, so I just wanted to show you guys the scorecards, hear what you guys had to say, and I'm out of here, man. I'm going on my way, trying to work today. Today's a tough day to work, but I'm gonna get out there and mix it up right now. So that was one of the things I didn't understand. Now there's a lot of people. Hey, man, I'm kind of surprised to hear. What's his name? Just now, I'll tell you who I'm thinking about. Hold on a second. What am I doing here? What am I doing? Escape. Right, cool. So let me come out of this. So I'm somewhat surprised that hold on a second. I'm somewhat surprised that just now I'm gonna tell you who I'm talking about. Dante's Boxing Nation actually thought that Tyson Fury won. I thought Dante would have gone with Wilder, like some other people. John David Jackson thought that Tyson Fury won. Dante's Boxing Nation was in, I think he was in Taiwan at the time, and he saw the fight. I agree with Dante. I agree with John David Jackson that Fury won. I agree with Lennox Lewis that Fury won. And I agree with Paulie Malignaggi that Fury won. A number of boxers wouldn't openly say it, but I think most of these boxers would declare that they believe that Tyson Fury won certain matches. So Chris Eubank didn't say anything about it. Truth and Facts Sports talked about, again, they thought that Tyson Fury won the fight. Very few people. I think any person who is unbiased and just kind of closing their eyes would realize Tyson Fury won that fight. Okay, it kind of goes without saying. Um, Fight Hype's Ben, they had a little Ben from Fight Hype thought that Tyson Fury won. Andre Berto and Sean Porter's father thought that Tyson Fury won that fight. Uh, I think Abel Sanchez said he thought that Tyson Fury won. Beeb thought that Tyson Fury won, and some of the people, other people there. I mean, people said it. If it goes the distance, Tyson Fury would win it. And it's pretty much what happened. It went the distance. Deontay Wilder was hoping with the puncher's chance that he would have gotten Tyson Fury out of there. And he, the one thing I want to say though, it was underrated. People were talking about how Deontay Wilder didn't go to the body, but he had a jab to the pitch straight throughout the fight. And to his credit, he tried to use the left hook. He tried to set up his 1-2. He had a straight 1-2 a certain time. Tyson Fury was cutting his guard with a straight 1-2 though. T Street controversy thought Tyson Fury won. There's a number of people who thought Tyson Fury won that fight. And I think by and large, I think everybody who's really objective and not just trying to be biased, I don't understand what Boxing Eagle was talking about. You know who I would like to hear talk about this? And I think he would be absolutely on point. Troy Killatainment. Troy Killatainment. Troy King, man. Troy King. I want to hear what Troy King has to say about that, because I think Troy King will tell you the same thing all of us been saying, that he also believes Tyson Fury won, and this was a robbery. This is one of those robbery fights where it was a robbery, and that's just what it is. I mean, am I mad? No, I'm not mad. I mean, I'm glad that Deontay Wilder got the draw given to him. It was gifted, just like with Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. He got gifted the draw, and he knows he got gifted the draw. I mean, he could talk how much he wants that he won the fight. His whole body language at the end of the fight, he wasn't raising his hands. He was walking to his corner. He looked like a beaten person. He was hoping and praying that the scorecards would support him. He had home court advantage, and he got it. All right. Does that make boxing stink? No. It was a great fight. We all know Tyson Fury won that fight, and that's all that matters. I mean, you don't have to. Sometimes, but one of the judges' scorecards, I don't know what that judge was thinking, but he was very consistent. In giving Tyson Fury, let me just bring back the scorecards there so I could see it for a minute. Giving Tyson Fury, the fight. Deontay Wilder, the first 4 rounds. Now, I don't know how you could give Deontay Wilder the first 4 rounds, but he gave Deontay Wilder the first 4 rounds. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. No other judge did that. And this judge was the American judge. So I guess the American judge had some sort of bias. I don't know what he was expecting. Maybe he was expecting Wilder to dominate and then stop Fury, and then he caught himself, and then in rounds 5 and 6 and 7, he suddenly realized, oh no, this is Tyson Fury's fight. Maybe that's what happened. Sometimes bias can make you score a fight wrong, but I mean, come on now. 111-115 for Deontay Wilder. So you're telling me, I don't know how that even happens, that it's 111-115, first of all. Why does Deontay Wilder have 115 as his score? Think about what I'm saying. He should have 115, right? If you've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds, actually, yeah, it'll be 115. Yeah, because you won 7 rounds, right? Okay, so yeah, 115, 111. Yeah, the thing I have with this is where you find 7 rounds to give Deontay Wilder, man. Okay, you give him the 12th. You give him the 9th. You give him. He didn't even give him the 7th. The 7th was a much more convincing round than the 8th. So, and then he gives him the first 4 rounds. How can you do that? How on earth could you give him the first 4 rounds? This is the thing that don't make no sense. Everything else kind of makes sense. I mean, I said the 7th or 8th you could give it. So he gave one of those. But how do you give him the first 4 rounds? That's what baffles me, and that's where I think they fall short of the mark right there. So Fury versus Wilder is a messed up thing, man. It's messed up. And, I'm looking at these scorecards, and I'm saying to myself, what was that judge thinking? in his mind. What was he thinking? What were you thinking, Judge? What were you thinking? Because none of that makes any sense whatsoever. Who be so strong said Wilder hit harder. What that had to do with anything, bro? This fight is scored round by round. He dropped Fury twice. Okay, he dropped Fury really once, but anyway, he dropped Fury twice. Okay, and if you want me to be absolutely honest, who beats is strong. Wilder only won 2 rounds of that entire fight. Fury took the whole entire thing. It's supposed to be a 10-2, 10-2 fight. Okay, Martinez says Wilder only landed 1 punch in the 7th. Should have been a 10-8 Fury round. Actually, no, Mark Martinez. Go watch it again. Round 7, Wilder landed a couple of jabs to the pit. I think he landed a left hook to the body. Tyson Fury was the one that landed those spectacular 1-2s straight through Wilder's guard. Some left hooks to Wilder, walking Wilder back. And so because of that, I gave the round to Fury because he was the more accurate catching shots, the crisper, cleaner, sharper shots. Wilder was working the body though. So that's why you could, if you really, really strain, you could give the 7th round to Wilder. So you could really have it. It should really be a 9-3 fight, in my opinion, because every single other round, except for the 2 rounds where Wilder dropped Fury, and even in those rounds that Wilder dropped Fury, Fury came back with a vengeance, outboxed him. Those 2 rounds actually should be 10-9 rounds. So when you really consider it, Fury really dominated this fight. You know what I mean? Really dominated the fight, but that's another story for another day. Wilder knew he had to stop Fury. He could front how much he wants. He knows he had to stop Fury. That's how he would beat him. But it is what it is. So I just wanted to say that because I found that the judging was just, especially by all 3 judges giving the first round to Wilder, I'm asking myself, they had to have gone in with an inherent bias, man. That's the only thing I could think of, unless they were paid to do that. I just don't understand why. As Ben from Fight Hype was saying, and Stacy Mayweather as well, there was like, Stacy Mayweather was like he lost money on the fight because he was sold on the idea that Deontay Wilder would beat Tyson Fury. And Stacy Mayweather, he said afterwards, if there's a rematch, he's picking Tyson Fury. I told you guys, Tyson Fury is not a guy you pick against. You just don't pick against a guy like Tyson Fury. And if there's a rematch, you pick Tyson Fury, not Deontay Wilder. I don't care if people say Wilder will get better and Tyson Fury is at the best. You haven't seen the best of Tyson Fury yet. Because he can get sharper. He can get quicker. He can get cleaner. He can even box smarter than that. And from what I've seen from Wilder, Wilder has a long ways to go before he can play high-level chess with Tyson Fury. You're not going to just bully your way through Tyson Fury because he can pivot on you. He can sidestep you. He can bounce. He can skip. I told you guys, when Wilder tries to come, when he tries to come with that jab, so I'm going to show you, I'm going to demonstrate for you guys. When he comes to come with the jab, Fury going to split the jab. Fury, if you're coming to jab at me this way, okay, I can split to the outside and counter you with a jab. I can throw my own jab and counter, right? Or I can split to the inside and come over the top with an overhand right. And since he's taller, he could come down with that overhand right on Wilder. Okay? You saw him hitting Wilder with right hand, left hook in the 12th round. When Wilder was trying to advance to him, he split Wilder's jab on the inside and he came with an overhand right. Then he pulled back and came with a left hook. Pulled back and came with a left hook. Wilder got it, boom, boom, and stunned him. Okay? He backed off and he was like, you know what? I think I'm just not going to pursue this. Okay? And you got to understand that's boxing. All right? So my call was correct. I told you guys this is a 50-50 fight. I said it on Pound for Pound Boxing Report. I said I favor Fury to win. I stuck with my pick. No excuses. And it was right. Wilder dropped Fury twice. I said there were going to be knockdowns in the fight. Ben from Fight Hype got it absolutely correct. He said that Fury was going to get dropped. He said there were going to be 2 knockdowns in this fight. He didn't say who it was. I didn't get that specific. I thought there was going to be knockdowns in this fight. The fight ended up being very competitive because of those knockdowns. It would not have been competitive otherwise. Wilder came back with his props and Props to him. He almost knocked out Fury. Well, almost don't mean he knocked out the person. The other thing that we need to learn is that Fury has a championship chin because nobody recovers from them 1-2s. You hit a guy with a 1-2 like that, nobody recovers from nothing. Kudos to Wilder too. He got a championship chin because Fury hit him with a 1-2 as well, and he was stunned, but he didn't even buckle. Oh, actually, he buckled a couple times in the fight. I just remember, but he bounced back. He didn't want more of that 1-2 though. So I really enjoyed this fight. It was a very competitive. Well, it wasn't very competitive, but it became kind of competitive coming down to the end. Fury had a big lead, but Wilder always had that power. Fury respects Wilder's power. And again, I don't want to hear nothing from nobody about Wilder can't box. Wilder can box. It's just that you guys so want it. It's like the Canelo versus Floyd thing. Floyd schooled Canelo. Y'all say Canelo's not good. He's overrated, blah, blah, blah. That's the same Canelo that beat Triple G just recently. Okay? That's the Canelo that's going up to face Rocky Fielding, and more than likely is going to win in that fight. That's the Canelo that stopped all of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s offense and made Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. look like he was a punching bag. Okay? There's things you do in that ring that just stop people from having all that offense. And that's what happened with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury shut down Deontay Wilder's offense, took away his right hand, and said, okay, come find me now. And if he didn't make that mistake in the 12th of engaging with Wilder so much and trying to actually press the issue, he would not have gotten knocked down because he would have had him at the end of the stick. And Wilder would have nothing he could do. All right? But Fury didn't keep him at the end of the stick. He didn't maintain distance. He decided to rumble and mix with Wilder, and so he got dropped. All right? So at the end of the day, what I'm saying to you guys is that I don't understand the judges' scoring for this fight. I don't know what they were looking at. I think that this was a robbery. This is the fight where it actually was a robbery because the dude didn't just win the majority of fights by a small margin or by a margin where it could have been a draw. He won by a large, sweeping margin of rounds. Okay, we're talking between 8 to 10 rounds. Tyson Fury won, and so anywhere between 8 to 10 rounds, you got it. There's no way Deontay Wilder comes back from that. At minimum, if Tyson Fury won 8 rounds, Deontay Wilder needed 4 knockdowns, okay, or he needed to stop Tyson Fury. And it only gets wider as you increase the amount of rounds Tyson Fury won. So he would have had to win, did I say 8 knockdowns? 4 knockdowns, sorry. Wilder would have needed 4 knockdowns if it was 8 rounds, 5 knockdowns if it was 9 rounds Tyson Fury won, and 6 knockdowns if Tyson Fury won 10 rounds. So there's no way Wilder could have gotten that. He had to hope and pray for that killer punch to knock out Tyson Fury, and then he realized Tyson Fury had a chin, and Tyson Fury came back from it. So, Tyson Fury's not the same sort of dude like the other guys that Wilder faced. I told you guys this. Skill-wise, heart-wise, chin-wise, etc. Tyson Fury's a very tough guy. You guys saw it. Now you realize that. Tyson Fury will look at the flaws he did in his game, tighten up on those flaws. Love to see the rematch. I got Tyson Fury in the rematch. I'm not even trying to front. If Tyson Fury could do that, and he only had 2 fights under his belt, came back after a 2-year layoff, I'm pretty sure whenever he fights Wilder again, he's going to be sharper, he's going to be quicker, fitter, and he's not going to make those mistakes he made in the fight with Wilder. He's going to learn from those mistakes. And he's just going to outbox Wilder. And Wilder's not even going to be able to touch him. And Wilder's going to learn a couple things, and he's not going to press the action as much with his right hand, and he's going to try and use feints and stuff to get Fury into a position. And the other problem is Fury has felt the optimal power that Wilder has. So for Wilder to stop Fury like how he did Stavern, Wilder got Stavern out of there. I thought he was going to get him out of there. I thought Wilder was going to beat up Stavern. But Stavern was a guy that was there to be hit. He wasn't athletic like Fury. He wasn't mobile like Fury. And more importantly, he wasn't slippery like Fury. So Wilder knows he can't just rush in and bum rush Fury and get him out of there. Fury counterpunches you, and you will feel his power. And if you go walking into that stuff, you're going to get dropped. For Fury, I want to see Fury do more body work. He has some really nice body work. I want to see him work the body, mix it up to the head. And that will also make him less predictable and make Wilder more wary and kind of freeze up Wilder at certain points. Another thing I noticed, Fury didn't rush the issue. Sometimes he had Wilder hurt. He never jumped on Wilder. He let Wilder, almost like Floyd Mayweather, he just kind of let Wilder recover, and then he would let him get his chance to be at his best before he come back at him. I think sometimes Fury needs to jump on Wilder and do the necessary to him at certain points in time. Because Wilder, at certain points in time, was stunned, and Fury just never followed up on the stunning. When you got a guy hurt like that, you should really do something to him. But Fury kind of let him off the hook a couple times, which is okay. It's cool. Uh, when you have incoming fire, you have to respect that. So I can see both guys respecting each other's power. So that's what I got with that fight. Really enjoyed it. My reassessment of the fight is the most I can give Wilder now is round 7. All the other rounds, except for 9 and 12, I think went to Tyson Fury. I think those were his rounds. Fury won this fight hands down. And as to a Wilder Fury rematch, I got Fury. I'm not even gonna think about anything else. I know Tyson Fury is gonna win the rematch. And hopefully he doesn't go partying. I know he ain't gonna do that, but keep a clean lifestyle from this point on. That's only gonna get him stronger, fitter, better, more energy, a much better fighter. He's a hell of strong. He's a very strong guy. He's a very big guy. With Deontay Wilder, I want to see Deontay Wilder improve his game. I know he tried to go to the body a lot more, but what he needs to do is not try and rush the issue. I know Fury got into his head, which is why I got him doing that. He needs to stay more composed. I told you in that press conference when Fury got to his head and Wilder went crazy, I think that's where Fury started dictating this fight. And Wilder needs to keep his composure and try and fight his fight, so he doesn't telegraph as much. Even though he always does that. So Fury can expose that he telegraphs so much, because you saw Wilder missing a whole ton of punches, right? And again, defense wins you fights. Fury needs to not slack off on his defense. He needs to, especially when you're pressing an opponent and trying to get them, trying to beat them down. You got to be careful how you go in and be defensively responsible. But I just don't see Wilder really touching Fury otherwise. If Fury doesn't dip too early like he did the last time, that's why he got knocked down. So he dipped into a punch. But if he's careful, circumspect what he's doing, but it's gonna be in the bag, man. It's gonna be in the bag. So that's Wilder versus Fury. I thought I would share that with you guys. I hope you guys have a good one, man. Blessings to you guys, and have a good day. I see we have 4 viewers. Share this video if you want. This is me, my bed. I'm out of here in a minute. Hopefully today looks a little bit overcast, so I don't know how good I'm gonna be out there working, but we're gonna get out there and do what we do. Peace to you guys. Deuces. Hey, I almost forgot. Let me give you guys a piece of scripture. So the scripture I have not read today yet comes from Psalms 91, which says, he that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I love that. The shadow reminds me of shade, refuge, etc. Protection. So you guys have a good one. Bless. I'm out.